Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Hare Krishna Achyut Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances of Vaishnav Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, whenever you are ready, you can please start, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 18. Lord Balram slays the demon Pralamba. Text 1 through 16. Text 1. Sukadev Goswami said, surrounded by his blissful companions who constantly chanted his glories, Sri Krishna then entered the village of Braja, which was decorated with herd of cows. Text 2. While Krishna and Balaram were thus enjoying life in Vrindavan in the guise of ordinary cowherd boys, the summer season gradually appeared. This season is not very pleasing to embodied souls. Text 3. Nevertheless, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally staying in Vrindavan along with Balaram, summer manifested the qualities of spring. Such are the features of the land of Vrindavan. Text 4. In Vrindavan, the loud sound of waterfalls covered the crickets' noise, and clusters of trees, constantly moistened by spray from those waterfalls, beautified the entire area. Text 5. The wind wafting over the waves of the lakes and flowing rivers carried away the pollen of many varieties of lotuses and water lilies, and then cooled the entire Vrindavan area. Thus the residents there did not suffer from the heat generated by the blazing sun, summer sun, and seasonal forest fires. Indeed, Vrindavan was abundant with fresh green grass. Text 6. With their flowing waves, the deep rivers drenched their banks, making them damp and muddy. Thus the rays of the sun, which were the fierce as poison, could not evaporate the earth's sap or parch in its green grass. Text 7. Flowers beautifully decorated the forest of Vrindavan, and many varieties of animals and birds filled it with sound. The peacocks and bees sang, and the cuckoos and cranes cooed. Text 8. Intending to engage in pastimes, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, accompanied by Lord Balaram and surrounded by the cowherd boys and cows, entered the forest of Vrindavan as he played his flute. Text 9. Decorating themselves with newly grown leaves along with peacock feathers, garlands, clusters of flower birds, and colored minerals, Balaram, Krishna, and their cowherd friends danced, wrestled, and sang. Text 10. As Krishna danced, some of the boys accompanied him by singing and others by playing flutes, hand cymbals, and buffalo horns, while still others praised him dancing. Text 11. O king, demigods disguised themselves as members of the cowherd community, and thus, just as dramatic dancers praise another dancer, worship Krishna and Balram, who were also appearing as cowherd boys. Text 12. Krishna and Balaram played with their cowherd boyfriends by whirling about, leaping, hurling, slapping, and fighting. Sometimes Krishna and Balaram would pull the hair on boy's head. Text 13. While the other boys were dancing, O king, Krishna and Balaram would sometimes accompany them with song and instrumental music, and sometimes the two lords would praise the boys, saying, very good, very good. Text 14. Sometimes the cowherd boys would play with bilva or kumbha fruits, and sometimes with handfuls of amalaka fruits. At other times, they would play the games of trying to touch one another or of trying to identify somebody while one is blindfolded, and sometimes they would imitate animals and birds. Text 15. They would sometimes jump around like frogs, sometimes play various jokes, sometimes ride in swings, and sometimes imitate monarchs. Text 16. In this way, Krishna and Balaram played all sorts of well-known games as they wandered among the rivers, hills, valleys, bushes, trees, and lakes of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ajit Prabhuji. So today we are starting the new chapter, chapter 18. Lord Balram slays the demon Rambara. So let me start with the deep breath. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtakrayeshu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishriki. So Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Thank you so much, Achut Prabhuji, once again for reading the translations today. And thank you, Sundarananda Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity to purify myself. So we have seen the previous chapter about the Kalia and also about the forest fire, like um, where Krishna has swallowed the entire fire and which they give the independence for the Vraja after they went to Goloka. So again, so they were just saying about this pastimes, which we are going to see today. Today in this this chapter, mostly starting verses, they were giving the brief description about the nature and how the playful they used to do in the forest. Krishna and Balram with their friends and the cowhead boys, how they used to spend the time. So those are the uh, few texts which we are starting in this chapter. So here, the Sukadev Goswami is continued he was saying how they were so blissful and having who were the Vrajavasis, like they were constantly chanting, and after that last time they were just chanting and constantly chanting about the Supreme Personality, and then they went to the Gokula. So then this Krishna and Balram, they were enjoying their life in Vrindavan. Uh, Usually in for us uh, we when mm, uh, usually for us for the summer means it's very hot and we were like so exhausted, like we don't welcome that much for the summer season. But the people in Vrindavan uh, they had very beautiful summer. It's not like summer. They used to have that summer has a spring. So those how how the temperatures and how Vrindavan used to be at the summer time also. It used to be like a spring season. So, and they were giving the brief descriptions of how that would the season gradually appeared over there in Vrindavan. So that descriptions were given here in few of the texts, and so that will just go through how they were and how the Krishna and Balram and all the cowhead boys, how they were having the fun and enjoyment in the Vrindavan when they go to the forest, like so those are few texts which will go through. Usually like they say that summer is very hot season, and because originally the form of Krishna is we think like Krishna is like everybody, like in the cowhead boys also they were usually think that Krishna is just like uh, original cowhead boy, and he used to play with them just like a normal kid or something like that. So uh, and in this chapter the Prabhupada explains uh, how the summer season used to be in India. It was not that much welcoming, like because of extreme heat or something. But in Vrindavan, everyone was pleased summer appearing. It used to be just like a spring, and fully filled with so many trees, rivers, waterfalls, and it was also so much blissful. Summer was also looking like a spring, and then um, because some acharyas and the Prabhupada given in the purport, they were saying that because the Supreme Personality of God was personally staying in Vrindavan along with the Balram. So that is the reason. Uh, even the summer also they used to feel like a spring, and they used to enjoy the going to the forest with the cows and all the gopas and everybody. So that's the reason they used to have very fun time even at that uh, summer season also. And here they were explaining how they used to spend the time uh, in the forest with their friends. So, and also we see that at the summertime, um, we see some creatures like crickets, and they make so much noise. And we were so, the people, like they'll be getting so irritated and something like that. So, but and they make different sounds. They do the screaming at the night times, and usually in the villages we see all different types of insects also, and entire like so that area like where um, in the this was full with the grass and trees and flowers and fruits, um, and also many type of creatures like birds and different insects we can see in the summer season. So that covering, and there they were also explaining about there were different waterfalls and the rivers with that waterfall sounds also. This cricket sound was they were not able to hear that. And so that beautiful was the waterfalls which covers the sound of the that crickets. Mm. And also mm, so usually, for us in the summer means we feel like it's our expectation come like dry leaves, and the grasses will be dry, and they will be changing the color to yellow. And but in Vrindavan it is not like that. It is like it is fully manifested, and the features of the spring was clearly seen over there in even in the summer season also. So even now we can see that in uh, the places over here, like uh, where like we see sometimes over here in like if we take example of US or Canada, there will be a big forest, and sometimes uh, when the summer times the leaves get dried up, and what happens, there will be a friction provided, and the fire comes, and the whole place will be sometimes burned, like so much big areas we see here, the places just get burnt, and but in India we don't see that much big forest is, but it is very dangerous, like that was explained here, and we might also get that wind fire, and it sometimes may catches all the villagers also. So, but this was not happening in Vrindavan area. So the people were like very in the safe area. They were explaining here. So, and next in the next verse, it is explaining like Vrindavan is like a abundant with the fresh green grass, and the time there was like when the waters or lakes sometimes they were covered overflow. They used to be overflow even at this time, and the area over there used to grow like fresh grass, uh, and it used to be all the time wet, and fresh grass used to go, and that makes the more greenery over in the forest area or maybe in the village. And in the text 6 it is saying that so the rivers in there, like at the bank areas, and they were like overflowing, and the green grass is appearing, and everywhere it shows that the cows are fed very nicely with the green grass, and residents, they were never used to suffer from the heat or something like that generated by the blazing sun rays or something. They never used to feel those things, so that was explained here. So in summer, we never used to see that having the flowers grown or something, but here it is like there they were in Vrindavan, they were like beautiful flowers. Um, we can see even in the summer also. Usually for us in summer means we don't get different type of flowers, only the jasmine flowers or very few flowers we can name it, we can find but in Vrindavan they were like growing literally so many beautiful flowers, and see we can see like varieties of flowers, and they were like beautiful on the trees which we can see. And um, we see like beautiful animals and the birds filled with the sounds. They used to make sounds. They used to enjoy that environment and everything. And the peacocks and the bees, and they used to uh, sing, and the dance, and cuckoos and the cranes, they used to do different sounds, different sounds, and it was like very pleasant when they see over that area or whatever the when the people in Vrindavan, they used to all the time be very pleasant, and the area also used to be very fully blessed. So here in the text 8, they were explaining like Krishna used to play with his friends, cowhead boys, and he used to take the cows to the forest and always play with his flute. He was so happily enjoying his life in a Vrindavan with his friends and cowhead boys. And next, here in the few verses, they were explaining what they were doing in the forest, and these boys like. Mm, they were playing like uh, with the when the flower in the trees, they were like new leaves were coming, so they used to that the grown new leaves they used to pluck over there and wear on their heads and on the different bodies and decorate themselves. And they used to take some peacock feathers and
also some that is like latas. They used to say latas or some buds. They used to make like they used to wear them like a garlands. And here like they used to plug the flowers and wear it the different places. They used to keep near their ears or those type of fun activities. They used to just when cows were feeding by themselves, they used to enjoy, they used to play different games. So like these, they used to spend their time so funly. And they used to involve everybody. And they also use like different here they were explaining, they use the different minerals and they used to color on their faces and decorate themselves. And then they used to dance. And they would encourage when one boy is dancing, the other boys they would encourage. And they used to do like whistling. And sometimes they used to, when others were using singing, and Krishna and Balram when they go mm, uh, when they go with to the forest, they used to do all this different several things that they were explaining over here and in the text. And when Krishna used to dance, like his all friends were surrounded about him and they used to sing. And some used to play flutes and some will like um hand crumbles like, and others like buffalo burns. And some friends will praise his dancing. When Krishna used to dance, they used to praise, so that the every other day they will be doing. And it's like for them every day is like a festival. When when others were doing, Krishna also used to praise them. They used to have lot of fun every day. This is like everyday fun. That's the reason they used to wake up early. And they, whenever their mothers used to pack the food, and they immediately used to bring the cows and calves. And then they used to come to the forest. So these are all the fun things they used to do. And in the text 11, even like demigods, so they used to come down. And they used to act like a gopas. And they distinguished like themselves as a members of the cowhead boys. And um, they also used to do some dramas, dances, praise one another. So these, in these all verses, they were just giving how fun they were having over there in the forest. Even at the time of the summer, they used to have so fun. They were explaining very deeply how much fun they were having in the forest when they go with the cows and Krishna. Like they were so involved in whatever they do, but they were like having so much fun and masti over there. And so when even for the cowhead, the even for the demigods also, they just joined in their group just like a cowhead boys. And um, they used to have fun and have fun with Krishna. And sometimes they used to praise Krishna and Balram, who were also appear like a cowhead boys. But as the demigods, they know that, so they used to sometimes worship over there. So in this text, we don't have so much purport. So there were much to explain. So I'm just going over overview. And also like it's not only like having fun times. They used to even doing like fun, like doing fightings. And like they used to do like wiggling things and leaping and slapping each other, fighting each other. So they were used to play fun, everything in the fun way. And sometimes they used to pull one another, and they used to pull their hair or something. And here acharyas have also explained that the boys were pretending they were like machines. They would sometimes uh, become like they were like wriggling. They used to do round and round, and they used to get the dizzy. and sometimes they hit the objects, and they make some by themselves the objects like a balls, and they used to play with them. And sometimes they used to play with the stones, and sometimes they would grab each other by the arms, and they used to pull themselves, and they would slap one another on the shoulders or the back, or sometimes, and they would drag one another, and uh, they would also do the arm whistling and the other types of friendly fights also they used to have. And Balram sometimes used to grab the hair and the of the other kids and the other gopas, and they used to have the. It was a playful manner. So these are the few fun things they used to have. And in the text 13, and they used to do sometimes. That's what before, like when Krishna and Balram they were singing, uh, or they were playing the instruments, or when the other kids were used to do the dancing, and they would praise the boys, the Krishna and Balram, they used to praise the boys like, you are doing very good, very good. And in the other way also, when the Krishna and Balaram were also doing dancing or playing flutes or playing other instruments, or singing, they would also praise them. So this was like vice versa. They used to have a turn, and others also used to have a turns. So they, till before lunch or after lunch also, sometimes they used to play some games before and after sometimes. um, and they were also used, in the text 14 they were explaining about how they used to imitate, or they used to do the mimicry like animals and the birds over here. And they were also playing with the fruits, and like when they were throwing the fruits, they were escaping from one place to the other place. They used to play the um, fruits with amalka fruits, bilwa, and kumbha fruits, and those type of fruits. They used to take handful, and they used to throw on some other, and sometimes, so these type of and they used to also play the blindfolding games, and they try to touch one another, so jumping around like frogs. And they used to play the different jokes, and they also used to do the riding in the swings, or they used to make themselves on the trees, they used to make themselves as swings, and they used to play those things. And they were just jumping around, having fun and everything. So this was the best thing what they have in their life. Krishna and Balram used to have very nice pastimes with the Gopas and all his friends. And in the text 15, and in the text, yeah. So here in text 15, there was given a uh, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He was the purport was given, and they were explaining about particular place in the river bank, where the people, you when they want to cross the Yamuna, and they would have to pay a small tax. At that time, the cowhead boys would assemble in that area, and prevent, they used to collect when the young girls are coming over there from the when they were crossing from Vrindavan, from that river. They were insisting them to pay the taxes, or they used to first have some fun activities, if you don't pay taxes, then you have to give the butter, or then you have to give the ghee. And they used to make the jokes like this, and they used to laugh themselves, like and they just in the fun way they used to collect these type of fun like butter and ghee if they don't have like taxes to pay over there, so they used to do these things. And so in the text 16 it is explained like in this way, like Krishna and Balaram, like they used to enjoy the life with full like well known games, and wandering among the rivers, hills, valleys, bushes, trees and lakes of Vrindavan. They used to explore each and every place in Vrindavan, and and they used to have fun. So in this chapter there is much nothing much to explain. I mean, like to say, the texts which we have from the starting in this chapter, there were no much purports to explain. So the detailed explanation was given how the temperature used to be at the Vrindavan, and how the fun way they used to have uh, in the Gokula in morning times when they go to the forest, or with the Gopas in the Vrindavan. So, so these are a few of my thoughts. Thank you so much, everybody. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Granted Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all devotees. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.